Good evening, Tennessee Bass Nation kayak anglers. This is going to actually be the captain's meetings for our Guntersville event. It's also going to be a partial TVKA captain's meeting since me and Steve Owens are directing both tournaments on Saturday. So a couple things, there's 39 anglers signed up. We believe that there's going to be a lot more that sign up on Friday. You got those payday anglers that I always love that sign up last minute, and we've had a couple people asking what the latest time that they can sign up is. It's actually going to be 5 a.m. of the event. So if you need to, go ahead and get signed up early or as late as you can. So just be thinking about that. It's going to be $75 to enter this event. $5 of that's going to be big bass for the TVKA event. If you want to double dip, it's a $40 entry fee, and $5 of that goes to big bass. There's only a couple different rule things that are different that I'll get to later. One thing I want to start off with is that Dugout Bait and Tackle is actually going to have a customer appreciation day. Actually, not days. It's going to be from the 26th to the 30th. They've got over 2,000 rods in stock. I don't know if you saw the pictures that they put on their Facebook page, but they are loaded up with them and they're ready to make some deals. Any reel that they buy is actually going to get free spooling. We also have some deals on some of last year's kayaks, Hobie and otherwise. If you need pricing on that, please reach out to myself or Steve Owens, and we'll be glad to get you in a Hobie pretty quickly. Since Dugout is our title sponsor, we've got another title sponsor. It's going to be Ag Pro John Deere. We've also got Hog Farming. It's going to be sponsoring our big bass of the event, and Carl Black's actually going to be on our Angler of the Year. They've pitched in $1,000 for the Angler of the Year. So you must fish at least 3 events to qualify for an Angler of the Year, and we've been posting the updates after each event. So just be in the running for that. We've got this event, and our next event's actually going to be on Douglas Lake. It's going to be June the 18th. I'm probably not going to be there. Steve Owens is going to run that one. So he's the epitome of a tournament director, so our series is in good hands with him. So if you think about it, this event coming up on Guntersville and the one on Douglas Lake is going to be the last chances that you can get to qualify for the state championship event that's going to be in August, on August 27th and the 28th. It's a 2-day event on Lake Chickamauga. It's going to be good. We're probably going to be able to provide food again this year, and other things, as you may have seen when you were there. This is by far one of the best series that I've been a part of so far. As far as it's the next step up from your local trails. It's not. It has the feel of the professional run tournament, and we've got huge sponsors backing us, but it's somewhat still grassroots. But where we go from here is that you get to that state championship, and then you get to go from there to the Bassmaster Classic and possibly walk across that stage. Two of our anglers last year actually walked across the stage from qualifying the state championship event. So it's going to be a 5-fish limit on the Bass Nation. It's going to be a 3-fish limit if you fish the TVKA event. There's also another club that's running concurrent with us as far as the times go. That's going to be NACA. I'm not 100% sure what their rules are. I do know that they do not allow motors. On the other side, in the Bass Nation and the TVKA side of it, you get to use your motor. So I would, if you got a chance to triple dip, that'd be an awesome third club to be entitled, jump in on. But I would look at NACA's captain's meeting to see what their rules are. The other rules differences that we have between Bass Nation and TVKA is going to be for a cracked or open mouth. In Bass Nation, it's open. There's no matter what, it's going to be an open mouth, and it will be a 1-inch deduction. With TVKA, if it is a cracked mouth, it's a 1/4-inch deduction. If there's no attempt, then it's a 1-inch deduction. The other rules are the other rule difference is that in both clubs, before safe light, you must have a 360 light on your kayak. With TVKA, during the day, you must have actually through the whole event, you must have a visibility flag flown. So if you have a Visi carbon, you're covered there. If not, Mr. Ryan Lambert, Lunch Money Lambert, likes to use a Z-Man pack now on his Visi carbon as his visibility flag. It works. Something that's up there high up that flashes around is good enough. I mean, especially It's heating up. There's going to be pleasure boaters. There's going to be bass fishermen out there in bass boats. So make sure you're visible. It's something we always want. Your PFD must be worn at all times. So that's, just common sense. Make sure that you're safe on the water. If you have to remove it, go to the bank. Make sure that you're off the water when you do remove it. The fish is going to be scored from the tip of the lip to the tip of the tail. Make sure that you take good pictures. Our judge is going to, mostly message you, possibly call you and let you know if you got a bad picture, but it's your responsibility to make sure that you have a good picture of that fish before you release it. We've had some anglers get their hearts broken this season. We haven't had a ton of infractions, so, you guys know what you're doing. Fish has got to be facing left on the bunk board. Its belly to your belly. Mouth's got to be closed. Make sure that your hand is not under the gill plate. The eye is not covered. You can manipulate the tail any which way that you need to. We have no rules against that. Just make sure that you're not covering the tail up to where we can't actually see the lines that need to be scored. So also make sure that your identifier is not covering up the next number if you're using a catch board. We do allow hog troughs and catch boards. Metal, aluminum, plastic, it don't really matter. So those are your approved measuring device. The identifier can be written on your hand. It can be written on a card. It can be an attorney tag. It can be written on your bunk board. I believe that's one rule that NACA does not allow, is for the actual identifier code in their club to be written on the bunk board. We allow that. So just make sure that you know about the differences. So TVK8, we're going to use the same code as Tennessee Bass Nation to get that going. So, and we'll release that identifier tomorrow. So any time mentioned going forward is going to be Central. I'm going to reiterate that here. Somebody tried to say that I said Pacific time in the last captain's meeting. So it's going to be a lake-wide launch from any public access ramp or pay public use ramp. If everybody can launch there, you can launch there. Make sure you know that. The boundaries are going to be all public waters on Lake Guntersville between the Nickajack and Guntersville dams. So dam to dam, you got to be on Guntersville water, but you can launch anywhere in between. The payout's going to be to the top 10% of the field or the top 5, whichever is greater, and it is 100% payout. So PayPal fees, we've got sponsors taking care of that and taking care of us on that side of it. The rules are attached on the Tourney X page. Everything that I'm saying is on the Tourney X page, so make sure that you go to the Tourney X page. Make sure that you visit our page to read the rules. You got to know the rules to make sure that you don't have a bad day. It's going to be your responsibility to make sure that you have the proper licenses. Part of Guntersville is in Tennessee and part of Guntersville is in Alabama. So make sure that if you fishing in Alabama, you got an Alabama license. Friday night at 6 p.m. Central Time, that's when the pre-fishing cutoff is going to be. Make sure that you're off the water, that you're not scanning, you don't have a line in the water, you're not on a bass boat or anything. Actually, the end of bass boat fishing was Monday, so make sure that you weren't actually pre-fishing off a bass boat. So the pre-fishing cutoff again is 6 p.m. So Saturday on May the 21st, the launch is going to be open. You can launch at any time. You can camp on the water. You can go to an island, sleep on it, then launch from there. So that's one thing we're doing for this event, is that we do not have a set launch time. Lines in, however, is going to be 5 a.m. So you can be out there on the water, just don't cast a line in there. Lines out is going to be 3 p.m. The fish submission cutoff is going to be 3:30 p.m. I say 3:30 p.m. is real important. If you have a signal issue, you have a Tourney X app issue, anything like that, you must contact me before 3:30 p.m. in order to make allowances for your fish to be checked at check-in. Make sure that you have the most up-to-date Tourney X app, Android or iPhone. Log into it, make sure you're showing for the tournament. The identifier is going to be released tomorrow night, I think around 7 p.m. Central Time. So you'll have that ready to put, go to sleep with it written on your hand. The check-in is going to be at 5 p.m. It's going to be at the Goose Pond Colony Pavilion. It's 1165 Ed Hembry Drive, Scottsboro, Alabama. So there's actually a pavilion. There's a restaurant there. Once you get to that restaurant, it's on the right. That's where the pavilion. There's been a number of, some of the bigger trails that have checked in there. We've checked in there for the native tournament, and everything else. So other than that, that's all I got for y'all. We've got some huge sponsors. I'm actually getting to fish this event, so I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully Steve-O gets to MC this check-in, and I just get to sit there and wait for a check. I don't know. Or it might be the other way around. So I'm looking forward to it. We're going to have some fun out there. It's going to be hot. Make sure you use sunscreen. Make sure you drink plenty of water. And, you know, kind of watch out for the bass boats. And just overall be safe out there on the water. The TVKA check-in is actually going to be at the same location. We're going to run it concurrently. We'll probably do the TVKA awards first. It's, like I said, a 3-fish limit, so try to double up, because if you only catch 3 in the Tennessee Bass Nation, that may be 3 big ones that actually get you a big check in it. So other than that, be safe out there. We're glad you fished this series. We're coming up to the end of it. State championship's going to be phenomenal, but we appreciate all the support of all you anglers out there that have actually made this what it is. And thank you for fishing it. Thank you for believing in us. You know, have fun, be safe.